Hello, everyone. This is William Armstrong here. This is actually at the New York Times or the NYT, but it says here police say opportunists stole from Philadelphia stores after protest. More than 60 people were charged after 2 nights of theft from businesses. The looting followed the dismissal of charges against a police officer. Uh-oh. I do want to keep it short and say that people should never do things like this, never loot and protest or go around damaging property that is not theirs or not damage property at all like this because this is not a proper way to behave. And this sets a bad precedent and a bad example of going around looting stores against a police officer. Really, that's just a dumb thing to do. The article was published on September 28, 2023 by Joel Wolfram, John Hurdle, and Nicholas Bogel Burroughs. They reported from Philadelphia. It says a liquor store in Philadelphia was vandalized early Wednesday. In the shadow of Philadelphia City Hall this week, about 100 people gathered to protest a judge's decision to dismiss all charges against a former police officer who shot and killed a man in his car during a traffic stop last month. Around dinner time, the demonstrators packed up their posters and signs and cleared out. Then, not long after, police say a separate group of people broke into a series of stores stealing shoes, alcohol, iPhones, and other wares, looting that in some cases were streamed live that ultimately led to charges against more than 60 people. Yikes. A handful of additional stores were broken into Wednesday night, the police said. The proximity of the first wave of thefts to the site of the protest led to speculation that those stealing might have been trying to send a message over the dismissal of charges, but the police said that the culprits had seized on the moment to benefit themselves. This had nothing to do with the protest. John Sanford, the interim police commissioner, said, "What we had tonight was a bunch of criminal opportunists to take advantage of the situation and make an attempt to destroy our city." At a liquor store in northeast Philadelphia on Thursday, metal shutters lay on the sidewalk after being torn down. Windows were shattered and louvered buildings hung in pieces over the entrance. Inside, liquor bottles, cardboard boxes, and containers were scattered across the floor. Many shelves sat empty. Police officers climbed through the wreckage as a crew of workers waited to board up the store. An Apple store in Philadelphia was one of the businesses targeted by looters this week. Uh-oh. Easy Guyton, who works as a security guard for the shopping mall where the liquor store is, said he saw about 8 or 9 people taking bottles from the shelves Tuesday night after staff members left. People were just carrying stuff out the door in boxes and shopping carts, Mr. Guyton, 72, said on Thursday as he swept broken glass from the sidewalk. A spokesman for the state liquor board said that 10 stores had sustained substantial damage and would be closed for some time. Several others that were looted sustained less damage. A family member of the man killed last month, Eddie Irizarry, condemned the stealing. Zoraida Garcia, Mr. Irizarry's aunt, told the Philadelphia Inquirer that the destruction was not going to bring justice to my family or bring my nephew back, and she urged those upset about his killing to protest peacefully with signs in front of the courthouse instead. There was a protest in Philadelphia, but that protest ended in disaster. It went awry, leading people to steal and loot from stores as a very bad way to respond to it. It's not a very good idea to go around looting just to protest. It's very stupid and dumb. Not only that, people are committing burglary, committing shoplifting, burglary, vandalism. That's just stupid. It's just stupid. The demonstration in front of City Hall on Tuesday came shortly after a judge dismissed all charges, including a murder charge against the former officer Mark Dial. Mr. Dial, who is white, shot Mr. Irizarry, who was Puerto Rican, while the man was sitting in his car during a traffic stop on August 14th. Uh-oh. Body camera footage showed that Mr. Irizarry was holding what appeared to be a knife as officers approached his car. Mr. Dial was heard saying, "I will shoot you," and adding an expletive before firing. Less than a second later, 6 shots at Mr. Irizarry through his closed driver's side window in the windshield. The judge said the prosecutors had not presented enough evidence to overcome Mr. Dial's argument of self-defense. Prosecutors quickly refiled the charges. So this officer, who is of white, shot a person who's Puerto Rican and shot through the windshield and car driver door on August 14th. A police spokeswoman initially told reporters that Mr. Arizari had gotten out of the car and lunged at an officer with a knife, but the body camera videos later proved those statements to be false. Those videos showed that Mr. Arizari, 27, had remained in the car. The police said they had found a folding knife and kitchen-style knife in the car. After the peaceful protest on Wednesday, videos circulating on social media showed a group of younger people forcing open the door in an Apple store, running off with iPhones and other devices until the items started blaring, a warning that the devices were being tracked. Uh-oh. So these idiot people that decided to protest stole iPhones and they started blaring with the warning that devices were being tracked, so they were ended up getting arrested. Stores in the city were looted in 2020 during protests over the police killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis, and some residents said they feared businesses like Apple, Foot Locker, and others were targeted this week might close their stores for good. Meanwhile, Asghar Ansari, who owns a dollar store in Center City next door to a Foot Locker that was looted on Tuesday night, said he feared the city would deteriorate if the perpetrators did not face consequences. Right now, as a businessman, I feel very unsafe, said Mr. Ansari, 52, whose business had closed before the thefts began and was unscathed. Giovanni Calvert, 20, works as a restaurant host at a shoe block from the looted Apple store and offered another perspective. He said that although he did not think the looting was right, he understood the anger that followed the dismissal of charges against a former police officer. I do not know the reality of being young, black, and scared in this country is feeling powerless, he said. The anger and the aggression is going to go towards the system that is causing it. Several videos showed that the chaos Tuesday night were taken by a locally famous 21-year-old comedian, Deja Blatwell, who is known as Meatball on social media. Hold on. They showed people running into closed stores and later the police pulling over the car she was in, presumably moments before she was arrested. Miss Blatwell, who was charged with several crimes, including burglary and rioting, went live on Instagram on Thursday after she was released on bail. In her video, she vacillated between defiance and sadness and said that she was struggling with how to deal with the news cameras outside her home as well as with her newfound notoriety. Should she embrace the attention, she wondered, or step away from her internet persona until her case was complete? She solicited advice in the comments of her stream. Even Amber Rose, a famous model, chimed in, but still seemed unsure. I'm losing my head, Miss Blackwell said. I don't know whether I'm supposed to be shunny or serious with this. A few minutes later, she turned the live stream off. So having this said, the way that this Philadelphia officer was dismissed in murder charge against Philadelphia officer in fatal shooting, it shouldn't cause people to riot and start burglarizing stores and doing such heinous acts. People shouldn't do this. This is a very bad way to protest, damaging property and stealing from stores, causing trouble. Like, people just went around stealing like it wasn't nothing, like they weren't going to get caught for it. But hold on, let me go to another website. Disregard Raster64, a Twitch streamer I'm watching in the picture-in-picture window. Before I continue, note that this is really not fake news. It's not. It's just I'm explaining my opinion and view on why that looting isn't really such a good idea to do at all. It says there are 6 people arrested after another night of looting in Philadelphia. 52 people were also arrested in looting Tuesday night. By Marlene Linthang. Looting exploded overnight in Philadelphia for a second time this week, with 6 people arrested. At least 8 businesses, including a Walgreens, a Family Dollar, an AutoZone, and a smoke shop, were burglarized overnight, Philadelphia police said Thursday. 5 incidents were in the Northeast Police Station, 2 in the Northwest Police Division, and 1 in the East Police Division. 6 people were arrested. Police initially said 12 people were arrested, but later corrected the number to 6. 52 other people were arrested Tuesday night after a crowd of young people broke into stores in the Center City area and other parts of the city. The chaos led to police bolster their presence Wednesday. The Pennsylvania Liquor Control Board, or LCB, which oversees the state's liquor stores, indefinitely closed all fine wine and good spirits locations in Philadelphia on Wednesday after at least 18 of its stores were targeted Tuesday night. Yikes. But the closures didn't appear to stop theft. A fine wine and good spirits on Adams Avenue in Lawncrest was broken into early Thursday, the Philadelphia Inquirer reported. Tuesday's looting erupted on a day of protest over the dismissal of charges against police officer Mark Dial and the shooting death of Eddie Irizarry. Interim Police Commissioner John Stanford said that the thefts weren't connected to the demonstration and the looters weren't protesters. Mayor Jim Kenney called the break-ins a sickening display of opportunistic criminal activity. The Philadelphia District Attorney's Office disagreed with the judge's decision to dismiss the charges against Dial, and a notice of refiling criminal charges was filed in court later Tuesday. Irizarry's family also filed a wrongful death lawsuit against Dial and his partner on the force Wednesday. So, yikes. This is very sickening to see that people stupidly decide to go ahead and be complete idiots and go in and start robbing stores in Philadelphia, busting down windows of stores, stealing, just basically taking stolen items such as TVs, electronics, like stealing stuff, and there's no telling what they will do with that with that stolen stuff. The Apple store got broken in on, resulting in iPhones being stolen, and the devices were blaring that they were being tracked. So I don't get why people are going in and looting and stealing in response to what has happened in Philadelphia. Like, that's not a peaceful protest. That's not a protest at all. That's just being complete idiots and stealing. But other than that, this is William Armstrong signing out. See you next time. Bye-bye. And protest peacefully.